All right, welcome back to the Press Box. Wes Blimpers here with Mike Foreman. All right, second week of the playoffs, Mike. Not too many teams remain, but these guys do, Calhoun.
That's right. We're here in Port Lavaca. For a minute here, I thought I was a politician. One time I had a candidate tell me he was going to stand out in the field and look concerned. Well, we're in the field, but actually behind us is a practice field where the Sand Crabs are getting ready for their area playoff game against Edcott Chelsea.
Yeah, and you went to their game last week against Floresville. Came back, looked pretty good, didn't they? I mean, they only needed to pass the ball once. Hey, still came up with a big win.
Right. They ran their offense pretty well against Floresville and had their way pretty much. It'll be a little more difficult against this team because Edcott Chelsea is extremely big, and they're going to have to be very efficient if they want to win. This is the team that knocked them out 2 years ago, and this is their third straight appearance in the playoffs, but they haven't been beyond this round, and that's what they want to do this year.
Yeah, I covered that game last year whenever they got knocked out by Cal Allen. So this group, they want to keep going. It's a good senior-laden group, so it should be a pretty good game this week.
Right, and we're going to hear from some of the Sand Crabs right now.
14, and which one, Coach?
This is the round where y'all have gone out the last 2 years. You feel like you can go further this year?
Yes, sir. I feel like we can go a lot further, and this is kind of revenge for us right here against Ed Couch, and we got to put it to him.
Talking to Sterling Jones, Calhoun's fullback. First of all, talk a little bit about what happened there. You injured yourself. I understand you were playing quarterback when that happened.
Oh, well, it was more like a fullback pass when it happened. Coach caught the play. He said, "Can you throw it?" I said, "Yes, sir, I can." James pitched the ball to me. I took a couple steps, but I didn't look to behind me. And then at the last second, I looked behind me, and I saw the lineman jump. So I tried to throw it to get over his head, and it hit my thumb right on top of his helmet. We work on it real hard at practice here, and we have to get it to perfection. It makes it a little difficult for me because I can't feel the ball.
Oh.
I just got to know when he's letting go and when he's not.
Tell me about this team. What makes this team different than maybe the last two playoff teams?
You know, this group of kids has been together for a long time, first of all, and they've been in this program a little bit longer. And it's the strongest team we've had as far as coming out of the weight room and so forth, because they have been in the program longer. A lot of these youngsters started 2 years ago when we played Ed Couch, and most of them played last year in the playoffs. So this is a very mature team. It's a team that's been there, done that, and it's a team that's set their sights a lot higher this year. And last 2 or 3 weeks they've worked very hard to certainly reach those goals.
All right, I don't know about you, but if I had a cast that size, I don't think I'd show up for work.
I don't know. It must be tough. I don't see how he gets that ball, but he did it, and he scored a lot. 2 touchdowns last week, 170-plus yards, so obviously he can play with it.
Yeah, it's amazing what the youth of this generation can do.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'd probably be laid up for a week, I guess. Yeah,
I probably will be just seeing them out there. But some other games in our area, St. Joseph, they advanced. They picked up the 24-6 win last week. This week they play Dallas Christian. Just looking at their scores, they're going to face a tough team up there.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I went online and looked up how they had done, and I saw a lot of 60s and 70s on their scores. So obviously this team can score. I guess it's up to the Flyers to figure out a way to slow them down.
Yeah, a lot of the opponents this year for the Flyers haven't even gained 60 or 70 yards, so it should be a pretty good opponent. St. Joe's offense, they need to get that going. Even last week in the win, they kind of struggled. They scored some defensive touchdown, and the special teams also stepped in. So it should be a pretty good game there in Waco ISD.
Yeah, they're going to have to score this week. I don't think they can count on shutting out Dallas Christian, so it's going to be up to the offense to keep them in the game.
Okay, and my memory is just shot right now, so we're going to go to the list, run down some of these other games. Let's go. El Campo at Yates.
Yeah, El Campo came off of a very big win over Brazosport. They had to go on the road, and Coach Gillis hasn't been flipping the coin too well because they lost another flip, so they have to go to Houston to play Yates. Now, they've played Yates quite a bit, and Yates is always a very talented team, but El Campo's had a lot of success against Yates. So the Ricebirds, usually from that district, if you look at the history of it, Bay City, El Campo, if they get beyond the first round, they usually play for a while. So that's a good omen for them.
Okay, El Campo, they'll be out of town, but coming in town's Cuero.
That's right.
You were at their game last week. I mean, picking right back up where doing what the Gobblers do, I guess.
This is a huge game for them. Sealy is a very good team, and Sealy has a little history of knocking Cuero out of the playoffs. So this is not a gimme, and they know that. Sealy is a team that is very talented. Cuero finally had some success against them in the regular season, but it remains to be seen. Their challenge this week is to beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I noticed you talked about the freshman. He got hurt a little bit. I wonder if he'll be back this year.
Well, I understand he had a hip flexor. We thought originally it was a groin injury, but it was a hip flexor, and I think we're going to have to wait and see till Friday night whether or not Trent Jackson plays.
All right, let's go back to your list. Rice Consolidated Navarro is coming here to Memorial Stadium.
That's right. Memorial Stadium will host Rice. Rice and Navarro will probably be kind of opposite kind of game, probably Navarro's size against Rice's quickness. Tell you the truth, I like the Raiders a lot here. I think that their defense is just outstanding, and they're so quick and they're great tacklers. And anytime you have that combination, you can beat a lot of people.
Okay, let's make this one quick. Shiner Goldthwait in Pflugerville.
I really don't know what to think about that game. I don't really know anything about Goldthwait except I'm sure sure it's a good team. Shiner is coming off a little bump against Burton, and usually it comes down to, and you saw Shiner go out last year, so you know this, Shiner cannot turn the ball over. If Shiner doesn't turn the ball over, usually Shiner wins. Shiner turns the ball over, and then, Shiner could lose, so I think that'll be the key.
Yeah, that was the downfall last year against Granger, the beautiful Central Texas town.
That's right.
All right, let's go a little bit of private schools too. We got two teams playing in Waco on Friday night. One at Floyd Casey. I don't know if that's going to be a sellout. I would doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shiner
it might be a hard ticket.
Yeah,
St. Paul and Frisco Legacy Christian, and Sacred Heart plays Richardson Canyon Creek Christian. Those are two teams from North Texas, and usually when they start getting up towards North Texas, they start seeing a little better competition. So we'll get a feel for, just whether or not they can handle that. I know I talked to Coach Walksmith at St. Paul, and he told me Legacy Christian is a very good team. So I think both teams will be tested.
Yeah, imagine that, a coach saying the opponent's going to be a good. I bet you they're well coached too. You think?
Well, he never said that, but 10-1 record, and usually teams up in the Metroplex area play some public schools. So usually if they're 10-1, it's usually a pretty good team up there. And there's one other game I want to mention too. Yoakum and Giddings is kind of an interesting matchup. Yoakum is back in the playoffs after that disastrous, season last year. Coach Burke did a good job of turning things around. And Giddings is not quite as strong as they were last year. They lost their quarterback, Fitzhenry, went to UT. But Giddings always has good athletes, and it's always a competitive team. So, they're playing in House Park Stadium in Austin. That's right there on Lamar Street. It's one of the oldest stadiums in the city. So that should be an interesting atmosphere.
Should be pretty good. And Unato, they're coming off a bye. They have a game this week. Then also a late kick, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, Industrial starting.
Yeah, that's right. Industrial goes to Matador Stadium to play Three Rivers. And Industrial had an impressive first round against Banquetti. And the Cobras would like to keep it up. And I don't know, we might ought to talk about this. If things work out right, next week in the regional round, we could have Industrial playing Hallettsville and Refugio playing East Bernard. So that would mean that an area team will emerge from this region and go to the semifinals. That's very possible.
Yeah, and I bet you Hallettsville's feeling pretty good right now. It came up with 9-0 win over Rogers. Pretty good program down there.
Yeah, that was one of the Texas football's upsets of the week. So, Hallettsville came off that low where they were just smoked by East Bernard, but yet they were able to turn it around and defeat Rogers. So we'll have to see. Hallettsville, like I said all year, is a hard team to figure. We'll see how they come out against Blanco this week.
All right, should be pretty exciting. Second week of the playoffs. You amaze me once again with your wealth of knowledge and just blow us away. It's
what amazes me is that we have 15 games this week with area teams, and if we have this about that many next week, that'll be a pretty successful season.
Yeah, should be pretty good. All right, see you next week. Another aspect of the press box is highlights. We're encouraging coaches and fans to send in clips. You can either do this by sending us a URL from YouTube or bringing us a physical copy. Our address here is 311 East Constitution in Victoria.